Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Danke. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Shri Radha Madhava, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Und dann Übersetzung, wir brauchen, wenn Subal kommt, oder? So today the topic is, this morning we had the topic of Varahadev, transcendental form of Srila Varahadev. And now we speak about baby Krishna. Baby Krishna, this is the pastimes from when Krishna was born, a little bit before he was born, but from the time he was born until the time he and Balaram start walking. So this is like a baby period, you know. When they start walking, this is already different, you know, different mentality, you know, but this was just helpless baby. So this is the third chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10. Verse 48, this is the beginning of when Krishna was born. I will avoid the whole pastimes, how Krishna was born, because this is the subject of many Janmashtamis. And this is, Krishna was born, and Vasudeva was very much afraid that Kamsa will kill, you know, this child, because he knew this is Krishna, this is the 8th child. So he was rushing to somehow or other, by Krishna's arrangement, by inconceivable power of Krishna's Shaktis, all these guards fell asleep in the jail, because Vasudeva was in jail. And his shackles somehow, you know, he was released from the shackles out of themselves for nothing. You know. So he thought, oh, this is my chance. So he took the baby Krishna, and just the doors were open, everything was open, everybody was fast asleep. And the outside was a storm. So the rain was a heavy rain. So Vasudeva thought, what shall I do now? So he thought, the good thing I can do is to bring Krishna to Gokula. So he went to the Gokula. Just when he arrived, of course, you know, by the Krishna's Yoga Maya, the Yamuna gave way so he can walk by. And interestingly enough, there was some other commentaries where Krishna, because of the wind, Krishna fell in Yamuna, baby. So he was, oh my God, what happened? So he put the baby back in the korb, in the basket. He was carrying Krishna in the basket. And meanwhile, Balaram, as Ananta Shesha, expansion of Ananta Shesha, followed Krishna in the form of a snake, hood, and he covered Krishna so Krishna doesn't get rain, umbrella. So then Krishna fell in the water, and Vasudeva was, oh my God, you know, he put it back. But the point there was that Krishna wanted to bless Yamuna Devi. It is said that Ganga Devi is very glorious because it came from the toe of Vamana Devi. When Vamana made this second step, he made it 2 steps. Bali Maharaj asked him, what do you want? And he said, I want 3 steps of land. And first step, he covered everything. Second, he pierced the material covering to Vaitarani river. And from this piercing with his toe came water from the causal ocean, Karana ocean. And this is glorious because it was touched by the foot of the Lord. So Ganga is very, very glorious, but Yamuna is even more glorious because Krishna performed many pastimes there. And Krishna was even, as we see here, bathing in Yamuna. So Yamuna is very, very special. Also, on the bank of the Yamuna, in Vamsivat, there's a rasa dance going on. So this is also very, very special. So Vasudeva brought Krishna, baby Krishna, to Gokula. And what he saw was that Yashoda just gave birth to a child, a female child. So he thought, wow, such an amazing opportunity. Let me exchange the babies. And he said, I'll take this baby back. So sometimes, some acharyas or people are wondering, I was also wondering, how cruel that is actually. Let my baby be saved and your baby be killed, I mean, this is kind of horrible. Because he knew when he brings baby of Yashoda back to Mathura, to the jail, Kamsa will kill it. So why would Vasudeva, such a great devotee, so cruel? So the answer is very simple. The answer was several answers, naturally. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the preservance of one's own self takes precedence over everything else, which is interesting. This is also in the law, every law, in German law, I study a little bit. It is, if you're in a situation that you need to preserve the life of you or your near and dear, then you can actually, you're not responsible for the reactions. So meaning if somebody wants to harm your child and you kill this person, you're not responsible because you're preserving your life or your life, your dear, is the most important thing. This is even in our law. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses this, that Vasudeva he has a right to preserve his child. It's horrible, but he had the right to preserve his child, to exchange the babies. But another acharyas, I think Jiva Goswami, I'm not sure, also comments, and he said that the reason why Vasudeva exchanged the children is because of the prema bhakti. He was so much in love for the Lord, and he didn't even, wasn't absichtlich, wasn't purposeful, wasn't conscious that he wanted to kill the child. He was just out of love for the Lord, overwhelmed with the love for Krishna. But of course, we know that Kamsa couldn't even harm the baby of the girl, because this was actually Durga Devi. She appeared and she said, Kamsa wanted to kill her, and Durga Devi just appears and, in her rear form, she said, you fool, you think you can kill me. But anyway, so in the morning, Yashoda woke up and she thought, did I actually give birth to a daughter or did I give birth to a son? I'm not sure. This is amazing. You give birth and you're exactly not sure. I said, due to the labor, she was tired, and she thought, okay, it's son, this is the simple village people. You have to understand that although they're great, great devotees, the best devotees, the greatest devotees, actually, the Brijbasis, the residents of Vrindavan, at the same time, they're very simple. They play the perfect role of human beings. So the village people are much more simpler, even in our world. You go to some village person, they're very simple people. They have a cow, or they have a dog, or this, it's different. It's different than the city people. City people always, they have some higher things, and they're more simple. And village people are very simple people. So here, and what to speak of the old times. The old times, they're very, very simple. So Brijbas is very simple. So Yashoda thought, okay, let it be. It's his son. This is what it is. The interesting point is that Vasudeva, when he arrived to Gokula, no doors were locked, because in the village nobody locks the doors. This is the city thing, locking the door. As I mentioned the other day, people will lock not only one lock, but 2 or 3 or 4 locks. Big city, dangerous. But in village, everything was open. And how do they protect from entering? They put some thorns around and they dig some trenches. basically don't allow animals to come to their house. Otherwise, it was always open. Everything is always open in the village. So Vasudeva came in, easily, and so what happened next morning? When Nanda Maharaj heard that his wife gave birth to a child, he was very, very happy. So when devotees are very, very happy, they're very, very charitable, magnanimous. Many times Prabhupada says, don't be a miser. Just give, just give, because Krishna is supplying things. So Nanda Maharaj was bathing himself, dressed himself, and the first thing he did was inviting brahmanas. He invited brahmanas to perform, to recite the Vedic mantras, to purify the atmosphere, and to bless the child. Nanda Maharaj, then he gave charity. This is an amazing charity. 2 million cows. 2 million cows. There's a Sanskrit name for something, Nilakshana, something, but so two of these Nilakshanam is one is each is 1 million. So he gave 2 million cows as a donation. Imagine, so much donation. It's a big donation. But cows were not just cows. They were decorated with cloth and jewels. Each 2 million cows. So meaning, devotees should not be stingy, as they call it in America. I don't know. In German it's called geizig. Sollte nicht geizig sein. Actually, especially the grihastas, actually, they should give charity whenever there's a need to be charity given. And because we should follow in the footsteps of our Brijbasis. And then he also gave, with the cows, he gave 7 hills of grain. And all covered with jewels and with cloth, which is decorated with golden embroidery. So very opulent thing. So then what happened, the news spread in the village. Everybody knew what's going on. The Yashoda gave birth. Nanda became a father. So what happened, all the cowherd men dressed very opulently. They wanted to come to see the baby, but they dressed very nicely, very opulently. Put very valuable ornaments and garments such as coats and turbans. They put turbans. And each of them, they carried a present to bring to the baby. So I thought this is again, for the devotees, important. If you want to follow in the footsteps of the Vrajabasis, when we come to the temple, we should dress nicely to the Lord to see us. So because it's a special occasion, we are seeing the Lord. And also, meaning if somebody lives somewhere outside and they come from time to time to visit temple, should dress nicely and should always give a present. Because this is what they do. Give the present to the Lord. Present can be very simple, can be very nice. Everybody can buy a jar of honey or nuts or whatever the deities are eating. Maha, little fruit or whatever. We can bring some present to the deities. Of course, all the ladies came. They also dressed very nicely. They were blessing the child. And they sprinkled a mixture of turmeric powder, oil, and water upon the Lord. Turmeric, oil, and water. On oil. And then, because they start sprinkling the child, they start sprinkling themselves. This is another thing which we don't. Maybe we should institute here in Simachalam with Gopashtami or Janmashtami. Actually, on Janmashtami, that Krishna is born. So they did like this. They were splashing one another with a mixture of curd, condensed milk, butter, and water. So yogurt, condensed milk, butter, and water. So they threw butter on one another and smeared it on another's bodies. So we should throw the butter at each other and yogurt and in a festive atmosphere. Janmashtami. We should do this. Then, He said, and this was all done in a joking mood. Everybody was joking, very happy. And then they said, because chikispu, this is a Sanskrit word which is described as first, mean they began to fall on the slippery earth. So because there's so much butter, they start slipping and falling on it. So imagine the fun. That's very, very fun. So this is the village jokes. We have to understand. This is a village fun. They don't have at that time TV or internet or whatever, or any entertainment, theaters, It was just village people. So for them, this was fun, throwing some butter, and then somebody falls and they're speaking about it. Have you seen this? There was a video some years ago about some Buddhist monks in the mountains and the fun they had. They put one barrel, metal barrel, and they tried to put, like this is a barrel like this, so they tried to put the head and then they threw themselves over the barrel. And they were laughing and so much fun. For us, the city people, you think like, what? But for them, they could not stop laughing. This was the biggest fun you can have. So just to understand, 5,000 years ago, people were much more simple. And the village people, very simple. So throwing butter, throwing yogurt on each other, it's a great fun. So I'll say next Jamashtami, we can try this. Throw some butter and yogurt, at each other. And then you slip on this and then everybody's laughing. This is wonderful. Entertainment, Krishna conscious entertainment. So this is the beginning, how Krishna was born. He was very much baby, small baby. But then what happened? Once, one very, very beautiful woman arrived in Vrindavan. And this very beautiful woman was, as we know, very great demoness, Putana. This demoness, Putana, is actually terrible. She's a pishachi. Pishachi means that she's particularly fond of killing young children, eating children. It's horrible, ghastly. So Kamsa sent her, go and kill all the children in the area. So she was very fulfilling the orders of Kamsa. So she heard another child was born. So because the Rakshashis, they are, as we know, they're very huge actually. Rakshashas are very huge in the Shastras, it is described. And the Rakshashas are eating people. This is we have food for the Rakshashas. So she took, they can also assume any form. We know when Bhima met this Rakshashi, she assumed the form of a very beautiful woman. And they had a child together, Gatotkacha. So Rakshashi assumed the form of an extremely beautiful woman. So when she came, everybody thought, wow, this woman is so beautiful. Come inside. Because they thought this is Lakshmi Devi herself. She was extraordinarily beautiful. Nobody thought, this is my child. You should not allow strangers to come to touch your child. But somehow, because of her beauty, everybody just let her. So the Putana came, a very beautiful woman. And what happened, she actually smeared her breast with extraordinarily strong poison. And she thought, once I will give this child to drink from my breast, and once he touches, he's finished, he's dead. So Krishna knew that, of course, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows everything. So what happened is, when she came, Krishna closed his eyes. This is a very significant point. Baby Krishna, a little baby. And he saw Putana coming and he closed his eyes. So why did he close his eyes? So there's a different acharyas explain why. First is because he wanted to show that he's actually a child and he's afraid. Because Krishna, in these pastimes of a baby, he never overstepped the borders of his babiness. Like we have in other pastimes, Krishna becomes, big, like Vamanadev or whatever. But here, he just stays baby, and he even completely, stay within the role, as you can say. So he saw this big woman, demon, and he closed his eyes because he was afraid. This is number one, why baby closed the eye. Number two, he closed the eye because he saw this is a very inauspicious person. I don't want to see it. He saw her in her real form as demoness, and he said, I don't want to see this woman. Just close his eyes. Sometimes, for example, there's a TV and there's a horror movie, and you don't want to watch it. You just do like this. So this is exactly what happened. Number three, he wanted to avoid looking at her because he knew he's a Supreme Personality of God. If he looks at her in the eyes, he would overpower her glance. And she would be, not coming to him to do this. So he said, okay, I will avoid it. Well, let her come, so he can perform these pastimes of killing her. Number four, he closed his eyes because he was ashamed already in advance, thinking this woman came to give me milk and I'm killing her. So he felt a little ashamed. This is not nice. And number five, he wanted to close his eyes to avoid this ghastliness of Putana's death. He knows how would he kill her already, and he thought, I'm not going to watch this myself. He will do it as a baby, but he would not want to watch it. So, what is interesting is very small babies, the psychology of babies. Anybody studying psychology? Baby became angry. Interesting enough, yeah. So this is what happened. So Putana came, Rakshashi came, and she took Krishna in her lap and pushed her breast in the baby's mouth. So when Krishna became very, very angry, because he did not want to tolerate. We saw today also Varahadev was so angry when Hiranyaksha insulted him. Very angry. He was not faking it. He was very angry. So Krishna became very angry. So what Krishna did, he took hold of her breast and squeezed it very hard with both hands and sucked up from not just milk, but sucked her life air. Imagine, small baby, you think like, innocent baby, and he was like grabbing it and, squeezed her life air. So what she said, she could not pull away. She tried to pull away. She could not pull it away. And it is said that this act of killing Putana was not done by Krishna, interestingly enough. Krishna actually uses his Shaktis. And this Shakti's name is Samhara Shakti. Samhara Shakti means destructive Shakti. So when Krishna destroys something, he doesn't do it personally. He just sends Shakti, go and do it. This is called, God. He doesn't need to do personally anything. He killed Putana by using his Samhara Shakti. It's very wonderful. So, but the reason why Krishna was angry, first of all, is that she killed already so many small children in the area. So he said for this he was becoming very angry. He says, now you're finished, And then when he was holding this, Putana was crying, please, child, leave me. So this is the nature of the demons or nature of the non-devotee, very puffed up, God, this. But when some problem is there, like, oh, please, please, I want to. As this one famous atheist was dying, and his whole life he was writing books against God, very debate against God, and very puffed up person. But then when he was dying, he said, oh, I wish to live a little longer. So he didn't say, I don't care, like Hiranyaksha. This is a real, Hiranyaksha did not care to die. But he was, I wish I like to live a little longer. I have so many unfinished this, and I have unfinished book, and my daughter needs to be married, and so many things, So he was not so puffed up in the last moments of his life. So Putana also said, please, and she was perspiring, sweating, and her eyes are wide open, and her arms and leg shaking like this. She cried very loudly again and again. So then, ultimately, Putana died. And when she died, she assumed this original Rakshashi form, which is 12 miles long. And this is a long body. 12 miles is how many kilometers? 20, anybody knows? It's over 20 kilometers. I mean, this is a big body. And her body was very ugly, like Rakshashi, demoness. But then, everybody heard this tumultuous, because she suddenly grew 20 miles, and then she fell over she started crashing trees. And then people are wondering what's going on, and Brijvasis were wondering what's going on, crashing trees, who's crashing trees, and so they came and saw this big body. They did not know what's going on. The village people, again, they could not think that this was Rakshashi. They just thought, did she fall from the sky? They did not know what happened. What happened? And they saw Krishna on the part of the breast playing, small child. They're like, oh my God, Krishna. So immediately they took the Krishna, they gave it to Mother Yashoda. And we know immediately they cut the body of the Rakshashi and burned it. The point here, Krishna, as I said in the first day, I think, when people get liberation, the demons get liberation by being killed by Krishna. They get usually Sayuja Mukti, merging into their impersonal Brahman. Only Kamsa got it because he was originally Jaya and Vijay, Kamsa Shishupal. But Putana got even more mercy. And the mercy is that she got promoted to Goloka Vrindavan. Imagine, she got promoted to Goloka Vrindavan, although she wanted to kill Krishna. And the reason is because Krishna thought, she wants to give me her milk like a mother. So he was very pleased. So she achieved the Svarupa, original form, in Goloka Vrindavan, as Prabhupada called it, a nurse. Nurse means that she's not exactly in the full prema bhava, but it's more like a neutral relationship with Krishna. But still, she's in Goloka Vrindavan even now, serving Krishna. So it's amazing. So whoever comes in contact with Krishna gets amazing benefits. So this is very, very nice. So as soon as they took the baby from the big body of Putana, what did they do? The child was thoroughly washed with cow urine. Anybody took bath in cow urine? No. Did you? No. I also drank, but it's... But taking bath in cow urine is a little bit different. And then smeared with the dust raised by the cows. You can see sometimes in India, there's a hoof prints of the cows, and Indian women, they touch these hoof prints and put it on the head. So they took this dust and smear all over Krishna. Then what they do, they took the cow dung and they made a tilak from the cow dung. So we have this tilak. I don't know where is our tilak coming, actually. Does anybody knows where our tilak? In Vrindavan, you buy this tilak. We say it's from Ganges, but we don't actually know. It's some, we have, but Krishna takes cow dung as a tilak. So they put the tilak marks, like we have 12 tilak marks. They put 12 tilak marks on Krishna's body for protection. So when we put tilak also now 12, and they were chanting this mantra, Om Keshava Namaha, Om Narayana, Om Madhava, Om Vishnu. All these mantras, they were chanting to protect Krishna. So when we chant, we put tilak in the morning, we're actually doing the same. We are protecting our body from from Maya, material energy, by putting tilaks on 12 different places. So Krishna was bathed very nicely in cow urine, smeared with the dust, and then he put cow dung as a tilak. So this is full protection. So this is very, very nice. Then, after this, they all chanted mantras to protect the child. We know the parents are very, in those, again, the village people, they have all kinds of, as we call it, wie sagt man das auf Deutsch? Aberglaube, genau. Aberglaube. Wie sagt man auf Aberglaube auf Englisch jetzt? Superstition. There was so much superstition. Of course, this is naturally cow products. And because when Lord Chaitanya was born in Navadvip, in Mayapur, mother was placing him under the neem tree. And he called him Nimai to protect him from the evil ghosts. So this is the village, again, village vision. This is a very sweet relationship. We have to understand that Vrindavan, relationship in Vrindavan with Krishna are very, very sweet. Vrindavan is also called Madhura Puri. And Madhu means honey. The city was so sweet they compared to honey. Because this is the relationship between Krishna and his devotees. So, let's see. Then they chanted the mantras, and then they brought it to Yashoda to give him milk to drink, from her breast. And then Acharya said, when a baby drinks milk from the breast of his mother, this is a good sign of health. So they were giving baby to drink, and baby was drinking, that they were all satisfied. That means baby is healthy. Very nice. Meaning, the Acharya said, the elderly gopis were not satisfied only to chant the mantras, but there has to be some loving affection. So again, this is our sampradaya. Our relationships with Krishna are not only based on the awe and veneration, so-called Aishwarya relationship, but actually we are also offering some love to Krishna. And this love, as we spoke a few days ago, will be developed naturally when we practice Krishna consciousness. Our love will become more and more, as we call it, bhava. Bhava means actual relationship, loving exchange between the devotee and Krishna. So it's called bhava. And ultimately, after bhava, the next stage is full love of Krishna, is called prema, Krishna prema. So the gopis were very happy. Madhya Yashoda was very happy. The child drank milk. Hari bol. Healthy baby. Very nice. So interesting enough, the cowherd man came and saw his body, and they were wondering what's going on. They couldn't understand. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said here, Hare Krishna, if a person offers service with an attempt to kill and attains the goal of life, how much more will a person attain who offers with a neutral attitude? Meaning, if the Putana came to kill a child, baby, and she got such an amazing position in the spiritual world, how much more will get a person who's actually neutrally related to Krishna, has some positive actually relationship to Krishna? And how much more will a person attain who offers with faith? If you have faith in Krishna, how much more will we get than that person? And how much more will a person attain who offers with pure bhakti? So this, what we are doing, is very, very valuable thing in the our process of bhakti or bhakti yoga, as Prabhupada sometimes uses. It is very, very important, and also this will bring us amazing benefit, which we actually cannot really see it right now. We can understand it as we progress more, as we make more advancement in Krishna consciousness. The doors or our vision, Om Jnana Timirandasya, will Jnananjana Shalakaya, Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Enama. Our eyes, which were dark, influenced by the darkness of ignorance, will become more and more open, and we will see actually the value of spiritual practice. Everything what we do will become much more meaningful and real. Because in the beginning, it may be we are doing some, okay, everybody else is doing it, so I'm doing, everybody bow down, I'm doing bow down. But after some time of practice, this bowing down suddenly has a meaning. Suddenly we realize, why am I bowing down? Verschluckt. So this was this pastime. Then Krishna grew up a little bit, and he came to the point that he attempted to turn around. This is like a big event in a child life of a baby. And this was celebrated in Vrindavan because babies usually laying, very small babies, laying and doing this and that. And then suddenly Krishna one day decided to move on the other side. This is like a big event. So they're celebrating. So Madhya Yashoda immediately invite all the cowherd ladies. And such a ceremony called Uttana, which is performed when a child is to leave the house for the first time. Do you have this? No, you don't do. So first time you leave the house as a big celebration. Krishna was at that time 3 months old. Very young baby, 3 months old. Of course, they call the Brahmanas to chant the mantras. The same, they always call the Brahmanas to chant the mantras. They put auspicious items in the house and everything. So what happened at that time? Krishna's eyes became sleepy. Like closing eyes. He's very tired. Babies, they sleep a lot. The baby was very tired. So Madhya Yashoda looked at this, and she laid with the baby, so the baby feel comfortable, fall asleep. So she falls asleep, but she's waiting. The baby falls asleep, so she can go to do the household duties. So baby was falling asleep. Then what happened is the festival started. Baby was awake. And the Madhya Yashoda took the baby, carrying the baby in her hands. And suddenly, the baby became very, very heavy. Extraordinary, let's say like a heavy as a mountain. So Yashoda was like, I cannot hold this baby anymore. So she put the baby, to lay down. Sorry, this is completely different. This I will speak later about the heaviness of the baby. This is just the baby become very tired. That Uttana ceremony is happening, and the baby's eyes, baby becomes sleepy. So Yashoda thought, where can I put a baby to don't be on the sun, because outside celebration. So there was a cart there with dishes, pots and dishes. So she said, let me put him under the cart. This is also very cute. Put the baby under the cart. Baby will sleep there, no sun. And in the villages, people do this. Even in my time, when I was very baby, my grandmother told me they had the big pots for cooking clothes. Nobody does this anymore. But at that time, if you do some heavy work, there was a pot only for clothes. You cook the clothes because they didn't have laundry machines. You cook the clothes from this heavy, whatever, if there's oil or something, they cook the clothes. So there were these big pots. So they were going to work, my grandmother. When my mother was visiting we are from the town, from the city, but when they would visit the village with my grandmother, so the grandmother will take me to the field. They were working on the cornfield. So because I was a small baby, so they could not, so they leave me, they put me in the pot. Under the tree, so the shade, And I cannot run away, I'm stuck, I'm arrested in this pot. And I'm standing like this, looking, and they are working, and they just look at it, you see, I'm still in the pot, It's a village style. I don't remember, of course, I was very small. But this is interesting. This is the village, how the village people do. So Yashoda put the baby under, and she thought, she's there safe, he's sleeping, everything is good. And suddenly, what happened is Krishna woke up and he was hungry. And then Krishna start crying. I want to eat, Babies, they don't speak, but they just cry. We can express our emotions through our words. I like this, I don't like this. Babies only crying. This is the only words they know. And you have to guess. Are they hungry? Are they sick? You have to kind of guess what do they want to say. It's a different language. It's a baby language. So the Krishna started crying. He wanted to drink milk. He was hungry. And then Yashoda, because the festival was going on, Yashoda was very charitable, giving charity to everybody, receiving people, talking to everybody. And then she did not hear Krishna crying. So Krishna, out of anger, lifted his little legs and kicked the cart. This is an amazing thing. What I wanted to now do for you is this is what happened. Big disturbance. Everything fell. The cart fell. The pots fell suddenly. So everybody was, oh my God, the baby is under the cart. So everybody ran. The baby is nothing. Nothing happened. The point is the baby was laying under the cart, and baby's legs, 3 months baby leg, how long can it be? Not longer than this, isn't it? And the cart was much, much higher. So Krishna actually, how did Krishna do this? Kicked, because as I said, Krishna did not do anything to get out of the role. He did not want to now extend his leg to be this big. So the point is that Krishna realized that this cart was overtaken by a ghost demon, Shakata Sura. And nobody noticed this demon actually, except Krishna. And this demon took the form of a cart. And then he wanted to kill Krishna. So Krishna saw this, so he used two purposes. One, to be angry at the Yashoda, why you don't give me milk? And the second, he wanted to kill the demon. So what happened there is, he said, although his legs were as soft as leaves, when he struck the cart with his legs, it turned over violently and collapsed, as we heard. Everything collapsed. With small baby legs, which are very, very soft. So, they said the wheel separated from the axle. The wheel, they separated both. And spokes fell apart. And basically the whole thing fell apart. The whole cart fell apart. So the point here is, in Brahmanda Purana, it is understood because of the entrance of the Asura into the cart, the wheel sank in the earth and the cart's height decreased. So this is the point. Because the normal cart is very high. And when the demon entered the cart, he assumed the form of a cart, in demoniac, ghostly, so that the whole cart sank into the earth. It becomes very close to Krishna. So when Krishna kicked it, he actually did not extend his leg to kill this demon. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the cart was struck by the soft feet of Krishna, as if with very little force. So Krishna just played, dun, 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 and this whole thing happened. Again, Krishna never breaks the role of a baby. So the Brijvasis are wondering, who did this? Who broke the cart? So Krishna, was laying there, a little baby, doesn't speak. So the small children who were walking around playing, they saw it, and they said, we saw it, it's Krishna. And then the seniors, they said, children are talking nonsense, some small children. You are lying, Krishna. How can Krishna, small baby, can destroy the cart? No, we saw it, but they didn't believe. The elderly did not believe that Krishna broke the cart. So they were wondering, did the cart collapse by itself, or what really happened? Nobody really knew. So immediately they said, it must be the work of some demon on this planet. It must be some. Immediately the village people, they think it's ghost or something, some other higher power. So naturally, what did Mother Yashoda do? She immediately took Krishna and gave him breast to drink milk, and Krishna is pacified. Krishna falling asleep, and everything is very, very nice. So this is the, I think, first part. There's much more, and I will speak tomorrow more about Nanda Maharaj bathing Krishna. The Garga Muni comes to actually reveal who Krishna is indirectly. And also the very, very important next pastime, next demon, which is called Trinivarta. And this is an interesting pastime. This is where Krishna became heavy for Mother Yashoda. And then on the end, we have that Yashoda is seeing universal form in Krishna's mouth. Not when he was eating dirt, but when he was still very much baby. That she saw this. And then we have a very, very sweet pastimes of Krishna's crawling in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. This is very, very nice. It's funny also. And then we have this is the crawling. There's so many different pastimes with crawling, which I don't want to reveal now. I'll be surprised for tomorrow. And in the end, when Krishna and Balaram start walking, then they start walking, holding to something. This is the end of this baby pastime. So this is it, what I wanted to say for today. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, can you turn this off, please? Thank you. So, anything, or should we just finish it? Any questions? Yes. Yeah. From last time, what? You can ask anything you want. Who asked this? Shrivas or Srinivas? Oh, this is from the day, few days ago I said this. Srinivas was carrying the deity in the Julan Krishna. He was carrying the deities in his bead bag. The answer is you can read about Srinivasacharya's biography. Just look at Srinivasacharya biography in Google and you will find it. And this is from the book Prema Vilas, I think. I'm not sure exactly, but I think book called Prema Vilas. And why is it possible? Because the Goswamis worshipped the Lord in Raganuga mood, meaning a spontaneous devotional service. And this spontaneous devotional service should not be imitated. as many our acharyas are saying, particularly Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, we don't imitate Srinivas Acharya, put a Krishna in our bead bag. But he kept it because he had a special relationship with Krishna. He did not need to do any rules and rituals because it's a different kind of level of bhakti. It's a level of spontaneous love. Spontaneous love means, as I mentioned also earlier, whenever you sit, whenever you walk, whenever you speak, whenever you sleep, you think of Krishna. This is a spontaneous thing. And second of all, reason is at that time there was no temples in Vrindavan. Just simple as that, practical, no temples. So they carried Krishna. There was no temple, there was no temple, there was no ghee lamps or whatever. There was just jungle. Vrindavan was pure jungle with tigers on it. So they were carrying the deities with them. They didn't have anywhere else to worship them. And there's a devotee, Lokanath Goswami, who also carried the deity. He carried the deity in his chadar like this. He tied and he was carrying the deity like this. And then when it would rain, Lokanath would, because again, there's no roof anywhere. Goswamis were just sitting there under the rain. Imagine, 3 months, just sitting under the rain. Maybe under a tree, but these trees are not big in Vrindavan. So he would find a hollow of a tree, some old tree, and he would put the deities there so the deity doesn't get rain. And he would just stand there outside on the rain. It's also practical. So, anyways, that's the reason. One, spontaneous devotional service. One, practical, no temples at that time. Yeah. Yes. Sorry? Because this is the part of Pancharatrika system. Every day there's a different color according to the planet, predominant planet. I'm not an astrologer, but this is the reason. I don't know, tomorrow is white, I think, isn't it? You are Pujari? Yeah. Tomorrow is white. And today is? Today is? Red. Yeah. So see, she knows. I don't know, my wife does. But there's different days. Each day has a certain color you have to wear, the deities. This is a part of the rules of the deity worship. Because we worship Krishna, as I also said, in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan, meaning with the strict rules and Pancharatrika rules. We don't worship Krishna in a spontaneous. We don't take Nrsimhadev, put him in our bead bag. Of course, it's he will not fit. Or we put, let me keep Nrsimhadev in my room for a while. No. But in spontaneous love, maybe. There's a description in the Bhakti Ratnakara. When Sanatana Goswami went to Mathura to visit one devotee with his family, he's a grihasta, and he saw Krishna, deity of Krishna, playing with children, on the ground, with Krishna. So he said, this is not proper, You don't take Krishna and put him in the ground, and children are dirty, they put hand in the mouth, and they take Krishna and knock him down. And so he said, this is not proper, this is Krishna, you should worship according to proper rules. So he took this deity, and the Brahmana was very sorry, and said, I'm sorry for offending, and he gave the Sanatana Goswami the deity. Sanatana said, I will worship him properly. So in the evening, he left. Sanatana Goswami took the deity and left. In the evening, the deities, Krishna appeared to him in dream. And he said, what are you doing? I was very happy playing with his children. Who do you think you are? Bring me back. So Sanatana Goswami apologized and he brought him back. So this is spontaneous devotional service. But we don't particularly do this because this is our Sampradaya's Acharya Srila Prabhupada instructed us to worship Krishna in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. And therefore we follow the instructions of our Acharya. And we clothed Monday, whatever color, white color, and so on and so forth. Green, I don't know exactly when is green? Tuesday or Wednesday is green. So there's different colors for each day. Okay, any more or this? I think this is it, 6:31. Okay, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, baby Krishna ki jai. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna.